Oh, good afternoon and welcome to San Diego Pride live stream on Friday. What is today? October 30th. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to be talking about San Diego Pride, Art of Pride, and today's subject is Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead. It is my pleasure that you could join us today, and I'm looking forward to introducing you to two great people, our Art of Pride co-chair, John Kiesler, and our guest, one of our guest artists from the video you will see today, Betty Bang. And I know they're going to be joining me here very shortly. There's John. There's Betty. Hello, Betty. Betty is on location, and she's going to talk to us a little bit. But why don't you both introduce yourselves to us today, please? John, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Bob. Yeah, I'm John Kiesler. I'm the co-coordinator for Art of Pride, and I am a longtime activist. I first engaged with Pride in 1975, way back then, as a co-chair for the parade. So I'm glad to be back today, and these are exciting videos that you're putting together, Bob.
Thank you. Betty.
Hi, I'm Betty Bangs, and I'm a local San Diego Chicana artist. My pronouns are she, hers, ella. I am also a DJ. That's where the name comes from in the art. But my birth name is Heidi Juarez. I'm saying that to represent my family and my friends, my family and my mother. Anyhow, I also am an advocate for victims of crime, and recently become a local Chicano Park muralist. I was able to help on one of the murals, so I'm very proud of that. And I just had to tell you.
Well, thank you for telling us that. And again, thank you for joining us today.
And I'm actually at the Sherman Heights Community Center, where I've been doing an altar for many years. I just had to let you know where I'm at, because you're going to be blown away when I show you.
And I'm going to ask you some questions about that when we get to that part, because I'm excited. I've been to the Sherman Heights Community Center Day of the Dead in the past. It's been many years, but I was blown away. So thank you. But before we talk about Day of the Dead, John, let's talk a little bit about Art of Pride. And what is Art of Pride?
Art of Pride is a loose coalition of artists that get LGBTQ artists and their allies. And we get together and we put on shows and we put on exhibitions. We're centered around the annual LGBT Pride Festival, music festival in Balboa Park. And there we have Pride generously gives us booths for our art displays. And we have shows, and we started having lessons a couple of years ago, life drawing lessons a couple of years ago. And so we've been doing that since 2005.
John, Art of Pride has been around since 2005.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we were, it was an experiment. And the first year, I think we brought our own tents, or we had just one tent, and some other people put up their own canopies and stuff like that. It was really, we were doing our own thing. And so, but we're very grateful to Pride for its support. And then over the course of the years, it was originally founded with the help from Judy the Beauty from the Big Kitchen.
Judy Foreman.
Yeah, somebody was talking to her one day and said, we really should have an art display, visual art display there in the Pride Festival. And she said, well, how can I help? And we said, well, you can be on the committee. so, so, so gave us the impetus to start Art of Pride. And it's been going on since then. I was there in the 2005 year, and I've been there almost every year, I think.
John, you mentioned in your intro that you were the parade coordinator in 1975. It would have been practically the first year of San Diego Pride. That is fantastic, and you're still with us. We appreciate that. Yeah. John, Art of Pride, why is it important that the LGBT artists have a place to call their own?
Well, everything's gotten better, but 15 years ago, for LGBTQ artists, sometimes their content, their material was controversial. And people didn't want you to go in and say, I'm going to have a lesbian art show, or I'm going to have a gay man's art show, or anything like that. And so even the restaurants, restaurants will normally let you hang anything on a wall. But there was kind of some resistance about artists getting their work shown. And this seemed like a good way to do it. And we were working with an audience that was understanding. And it works both ways, because we have people come to our shows every year and say, I'm an artist, or I want to get into art, or I'm interested in art, or my brother-in-law's an artist and he needs more support. And so we can give back to the community and say, and have him get in touch with us, and we'll help him get into some kind of show, or we'll get him more support or more contacts in the art community. Yeah.
That's fantastic. You mentioned that there's the major focus of sort of the showing at the festival, two-day festival, and I know, having been the festival manager, that you have as many as 12 tents, plus tables out in the middle area where you are. How many artists do you have displaying there?
Well, it varies, because sometimes an artist will split a tent. Sometimes an artist will have a significant other that will be showing with them, or something like that. I think over the course of our years, I would guess that we've had at least 300 different artists actually show at the festival. And then we've also brought in the youth, and we've brought in people. They may only have one or two pieces that they wanted to show, and so we bring those in and do special displays for them, group displays.
Right. So, and that's fantastic. And you mentioned the youth. I know that Art of Pride utilizes the facility here, the Pride office, and as an employee in the Pride office, I love that you hang the art in the hallways. But you have different exhibits throughout the year, and you also have a youth exhibit.
Right. We've been rotating every 2 months up until we got into lockdown. We were rotating every 2 months and having some very successful shows. And we have what we call Images of Pride, which is photographs that were taken during the Pride Festival and parade. And that's always a very nice show. And then we have the youth show, which is encouraging young people under 18, I think, to show their work. And so we do it there. And then we've also branched out, and we've done the Studio Door a couple of times. We've had shows in the Studio Door. We've had events like creating, people coming in, and we'll have art supplies, and they can create their own work. So we do other things, and we're trying to keep a virtual presence through Facebook and the website and things like that too, until we can be together.
Yeah, John, how can people learn more about the Art of Pride?
Send us an email. It's the best way right now at artofpride@gmail.com. ARTOFPRIDE@gmail.com, and it's strolling. It's going across the bottom of the page.
Okay, Art of Pride at Gmail, artofpride@gmail.com. So any LGBT artists, any level of artists can get information.
Any level of artists, if you're an ally, if you support the principles of the Pride organization, we welcome your art. We're not going to ask you any sex ID questions. So if you just support our principles of honesty and freedom, and then we will help you with your art. So we'd love to hear
Fantastic.
them. Yeah.
Fantastic. John, thank you for doing that for San Diego Pride. I know it's a lot of work. I see you out there during the festival. I see you in the office hanging the art shows. I see you at the art openings in the office. Thank you for bringing another community to feel welcome at Pride. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Which brings us to today.
Yeah.
This was a project you wanted to bring to the community through virtual streaming, and we're so grateful, Betty, that you're here with us. And Betty, I mentioned before we went on the air that I grew up in upstate New York, and I never, until I came to San Diego with the Navy, Day of the Dead was not something I was familiar with at all. And I think that's the case for many people who are not from San Diego, or familiar with this event. So it's more than an event. Can you tell us and help me understand Day of the Dead and what it's all about?
Sure. So Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, is a day of celebration where you get to honor those who have passed, your loved ones, friends, family, whoever it may be. I have a space on my altar for my pets that have passed. So it's really just to honor those who have passed. As far as the celebration, it's 2 days, November 1st and November 2nd. It's basically all the children's All Saints Day and All Souls Day. For I'm sorry, I'm getting all jumbled up, but let me compose myself here. So this celebration, I've been celebrating it my whole life without even knowing. My mom showed me how to celebrate, but it really didn't hit hard until my brother passed away. His name is Santino. So when he passed away, I started creating an altar for him every year. And so you create an altar for your loved one who has passed away, or many loved ones. You could put whoever you want on there to honor their lives.
Betty, when you say an altar, can you show us what you mean by an altar?
Yeah. So an altar, it's also called an ofrenda, which is I don't know if I can do it this way. This is my altar.
Mm-hmm.
This is my altar, and it basically has a lot of things on it to represent those that have passed. A lot of the things on them have meanings to it. But pictures is most important. They say your first death is physical, and your second death is when you've been forgotten. So this keeps their memory alive, and it keeps your family or loved ones close to you and alive near you.
Okay, and so you mentioned there's pictures and there's like little, it looks like skeleton dolls and food, right?
Mm-hmm. So everything has a meaning. So this ofrenda or altar, again, it's created to welcome the spirit of your loved one back to visit you this year. I hope the camera's not shaking.
Yep. We're good. We're good.
Okay. So everything on it has meaning. For instance, the candles are meant to light their way, to show them where the light is. The marigolds, which are also called senpatsuchi, they're pungent smell. It's almost like a guide to guide their souls from the underworld to the altar. The food on the altar is also meant to feed their souls, and depending on what part of Mexico, because everybody has their own little, well, this means this and this means that. I was told one year in Puebla that the food, you place the food, and they make these elaborate, huge room-size altars. The food is meant to feed the dead soul, and they say after a certain hour in the evening, because you invite all your neighbors, you invite friends and family to place things or come celebrate. If you taste the food, it's said to lose its flavor because they've fed their souls. Sorry, it chokes me up every time I say it. It's fed to feed their souls because they traveled so far to come visit you. Okay. I'm sorry, this is really close to my heart. This is my culture. My mother taught me this. So when I talk about it, it makes me feel really good that maybe this one day she just comes and she visits and she eats with me again.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
You mentioned that sometimes there's just little variations in different parts of Mexico that they might do things differently. Mm-hmm. is there anything unique to the San Diego area, to the Baja California, Mexico area?
The only thing that's different is that because it's become so, I guess, commercialized, but it's also to educate you and others that don't know about it. The fact that my altar is at a community center, and I started making this small little altar in the corner of my house with my brother's picture, his T-shirt, and a candle and some food. He liked Jack in the Box, so I would buy him Jack in the Box and let it sit there. Besides these huge community altars that are placed to educate people, which it happens in Old Town, Sherman Heights Community Center, Barrio Logan, Chicano Park, even in the South Bay. That's the only different thing, because besides people doing them in their homes and at cemeteries, you really don't do them in outdoor places like this.
Okay, so
Yeah.
with COVID-19 this year, is the Sherman Heights Community Center open to the public to come and see the altars?
Yes, it is. As long as you're wearing your mask, they are open, I believe, from 11:30, or it could be 11:30, 12 to about 3:30. You're welcome to come in. The center's open, and you get to walk around and see them and take pictures or whatever you'd like to do. My altar's open. I always leave a small space. So if anyone wants to leave a picture, or I even have these butterflies, you can write somebody's name on them in case you don't have a picture. Because in the past, Sherman Heights Community Center, they do tours. So if this wasn't COVID and it was a regular day and I built my altar, I'm one of the volunteers that's, we invite schools and we'll give the kids a tour and we'll show them what it's about, why it's here. And it's really helpful, especially for small children. I want to say that it shows them that they can still keep the memory alive and honor someone who has died. So for now, yes, it's open, but
Okay.
we're not having a big celebration this year.
And thank you. So is it just Saturday and Sunday?
No, it's actually Monday through Friday. I'm not sure if they're doing Saturdays or Sundays, but you guys are welcome to call.
Okay. And is anything happening in Chicano Park? You mentioned that. Will there be altars there?
So on Sunday, there's going to be a lot of altars all down Logan Avenue, which Chicano Park is on Logan Avenue, and they're actually already creating them right now. If you drive down in Barrio Logan, there's a lot of altars being created. So on Sunday, November 1st, there'll be a lot of events going on. There'll be a lot of altars out. But again, that's the difference between here and Mexico. They take them down that night, except for Chicano Park. Chicano Park leaves them up pretty much from the time they set them up till they feel like taking them down.
Okay. So if we wanted to, we could call Sherman Heights, find out about that, for sure, confirm times and days. But Chicano Park on Sunday, and if you do go, make sure you wear your mask, right? Make sure you put up your mask and you wear your mask. All right.
There'll also be a celebration at Chicano Park on Monday, but I don't know the times. I believe it's in the evening. There will be a lot going on because that's the actual Dia de los Muertos.
All right. John, did you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Betty because this custom goes way back to the Aztecs, right? And
Yes.
the origins of Mexico. This is pre-Columbian, so this goes way back. I just wondered if you had any more information about that, and then it was kind of adopted or taken by the Catholic Church. I mean, elements of the Catholic Church were added to it.
Yes. I can't really give you too much history about the Aztec because there's so much and I can't really hold it in. But as far as the Catholics did kind of add to it, as far as like for instance, in my altar, I put the Virgin, the Virgin Mary, but my mother really honored her. So, and I don't think I ever did until, my brother passed and I understood. So little things like that. I have a rosary on there, which really it clashes with the Aztecs and those beliefs, but at the same time, that's the way I honor my family. I should show you. Well, I have rosaries, and then I'm sure I have the Virgin somewhere around here, but I have a lot of pictures. I have my brother and my mother on top. I don't know if you guys can see it. So my mother and my brother are on top, and I actually do incorporate religion into it, John.
Yeah.
So I have my mother and my brother and some aunts and uncles and my grandparents, some that one in the middle is my friend's son. He passed away, and that's pretty much I could tell you as far as like
Yeah.
the Aztec side of it and the religion part.
Yeah, I love the Katrina.
Oh,
And maybe you could tell us a little bit about her. I think
so
that's so
the
wonderful. Yeah.
so the Katrina represents basically she's the Lady of Death, I believe, and it's meant to kind of it's not just it's a celebration. So you can't you death is already sad, and we want to make this like to honor it. So we kind the I don't know if you noticed the skulls are smiling. So it's also kind of to laugh at death. So the Katrina is a very well dressed lady. That I'm sorry, I'm getting all jumbled up again. But basically the skulls. It's not a sad holiday. I can't explain it to you because in Mexico you it's a celebration. It's not sad.
Okay. It's like a celebration of their life and remembering them, right?
Yes,
Right.
to honor them. Yes, definitely.
All right.
Keep their memory alive.
So we're getting a lot of great comments from people who are watching. Thank you for that. If you have questions, feel free to type those in, and we'll try to get to those. Betty, the video we're going to show in a minute, you're in the video, and John, I believe there are two other artists, Israel and Richard. Correct?
Israel Hernandez and Richard ChauDavis. And I'll talk about them after the video.
Very good. Oh, there's.
Should I read them now? Should I?
Yes, Tyler. Let's watch. Can we watch the video now, Tyler? Betty, we're going to go to the video.
Okay.
Well, welcome back, folks. We're sorry about that. We are going to try to fix that and post that. That will be available later today on our Pride website, stpride.org/live, and you can see not only this part of the pre and post video. We'll also have the video on there with the correct sound. But we still got to see the pictures. And Betty, we thank you for being part of that. John, you mentioned that you had a artist statement from both Richard Davis and Israel.
And Israel Hernandez, yes.
Hernandez, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Which one's first, John?
Israel.
Okay.
Israel, I'm sure you saw his work in the video, tends to be bright and have a lot of spiritual impact to it. He has been painting for 25 years. He had his first solo exhibition in Tijuana in 1995. Each year since, he has participated in group and individual exhibitions internationally and in San Diego and Los Angeles counties. He's received many honors and awards, and he says, "This world begins when you expand your imagination." So, and then Richard ChauDavis is a mixed media artist engaged in a variety of projects, including a virtual live model and live studio sessions on his Crowdcast channel. Richard says of his contribution to our show, and these were the placards with black placards with single names on them, and then there was a naked sunflower dead stalk behind them. He says, "The Day of the Dead means family, remembering those gone. This year, the Day of the Dead for me is expanded. It is remembering fellow Americans I did not know and was not taught about. It started early in the year when I wanted to show support in my suburban neighborhood for Black Lives Matter. As a white member of the LGBTQ community in a mixed marriage, born, raised, and still living at 64 in the suburbs, I am learning and saying their names, trying to remember them. The sign now surrounded by dead stalks with two of my wife's Maria's sculptures holding them. It has turned into my altar this year. I am not sure what to offer the spirits. One day is not enough. All the photos show the names of lynching victims. Their torture and death brought out tens of thousands of my white American great-grandparents to watch and participate." Richard ChauDavis. So quite moving, and different ways of interpreting the Day of the Dead and honoring our dead. So
Yeah, very interesting. And I know, Betty, again, we're sorry that your sound didn't come in, but we were able to talk to you beforehand. But was there a statement or anything you wanted to share that we missed from the video initially?
Earlier was the sound, you couldn't hear me?
From the sound in the video, yeah, it didn't come through. The video came through, but there was no sound. But like I said, we talked to you beforehand, and we asked you some great questions.
Well, I could just go over it again, and just the elements, because people tend to ask what's this and what's that and what does it mean. Your elements should be fire, wind, water. So the 4 elements, I can't remember right now, but the candles again are meant to guide them to the light. The marigolds are very, very important because the pungent smell is like it guides them. So typically, if I had an altar at home, I would place marigolds from my driveway out into the altar where I have my altar. The food is to feed their souls after they've traveled so long, and their picture again to honor them.
One of the things, Betty, that I noticed with your altar and with your pictures and with especially Israel, very colorful, vibrant colors. Is there a reason for because when I associate dead, I think more, black, muted colors, grays, but you're much more vibrant, colorful.
It's a celebration. It's not meant to be frowned upon or be sad. Obviously, we are sad that they're gone, but it's a celebration and it's to honor their lives, and it's the skulls, we all have one underneath their skin. So all the skulls represent, the departed. The sugar skulls, typically in Mexico, they have like a little banner and you can put someone's name to represent their names. So the vibrant colors, it's really just about life. And you're bringing them back from the underworld to visit and just honor them and life and bringing them back to us. So that's basically, it's not to be downed, it's a celebration.
So I learned doing a little research, I love the fact that I'm never too old to learn that this has nothing to do with Halloween. This is not associated with Halloween at all.
No. Halloween is an American holiday, and I say that because I was born here, so I guess I only know of Halloween as trick-or-treating and candy and costumes. This is to honor your family. This is a celebration to, all these souls on this day, they come and they travel from the underworld to come visit you. So there's a big difference. There's Halloween and costumes fun, Americanized, and then there's Dia de los Muertos that comes from Mexico and actually a lot of cultures have their own type of Dia de los Muertos and way to honor. I can't tell you any at the top of my head, but ours is November 1st and 2nd, and all the vibrant colors, all the candles, the flowers, the pictures. My altar has toys that were once my uncle's. It has my brother's shirt. It has my mother's sewing kit, my grandmother's sewing kit, my grandfather's tools. So it's all these things to represent them and their lives, and it brings them back to life and it honors them.
And we thank you, Betty, for honoring us with your presence today and your altar. I'm going to remind everyone that the Sherman Heights Community Center, where Betty is right now, and she has been a member there and a volunteer there and on the staff there. We thank you for being with us today. Also, this Monday, you said, or Sunday for Chicano Park?
Sunday there'll be a lot of celebration, a lot of food vendors, altars all over Barrio Logan and Chicano Park.
Excellent.
I'll be out there too, and just because I have to honor my mom and my brother, that's them.
Thank you.
Esperanza, that's her name, and Santino. Esperanza Juarez and Santino Juarez. They're always with me. So this honestly started off me and my mom finding this place to honor my brother. And when she left, the year she left, which was about almost 5 years ago, I didn't want to do it. But the day I did it, I felt like she was here with me, telling me, put this there, place that there. So I hope that, future generations do that for us.
I hope so too. When we come down to Chicano Park, if we see you, can we come up and say hello?
Definitely. I will be at in front of So Loca's studio on 2113 Logan Avenue. I'll be playing music.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you, Betty. Hold on for a second here. We thank you for being with us. John, back to you for a second. Art of Pride. Before we talk about that, I want to thank Tyler. I want to thank Melanie and Alex for doing all the great work behind the scenes. We repost these videos on our Pride social media, our website, our YouTube, and also on our Pride website, Facebook and YouTube. So you can see the whole video again there. John, we've got one more Art of Pride live stream coming up later in the year in December. It's the holidays. What's going on with that, John?
Well, we're looking for, I think it's around December 20th, but we're looking for artwork that maybe has to do with your impression of what the holidays mean to you. And we're talking about the holidays right from Halloween, which is considered the official gay Christmas, right through to the 7th of January, which is Epiphany. And that's kind of a special holiday. So anything in that group, any culture, any way of celebrating, that's what we're looking for. And we would love, artists can get in touch with me at the email, and I will tell them, I'll give them input as to what we're looking for. And there's never a submission fee. There's not a submission fee for these things. You're welcome to send your stuff in, and hopefully we will bring more fame and glory to your work. So that's what we want to do. Yeah.
Excellent, John. And just so to make sure we're aware, it's the December 18th, Friday.
December 18th. Okay.
18th. Yeah. And John, to be clear, any artist can submit their work, LGBT artist or ally of the
Or ally, yeah.
can contact you at artofpride@gmail.com.
Right.
And we would love to have their work, multiple works. We're grateful for Betty and Richard and Israel for providing work and sharing their work with us this time. But we would love to have triple, quadruple the number of artists, and we would put together a nice video and speak to the artists. So
right. And they would be our next Betty Bangs. I mean, what more can you look for? Yeah.
Right.
They would be our next Betty Bangs and possibly get interviewed on air. So we love
right.
Yeah.
Thanks, John. Very much appreciate what you do for Art of Pride, for San Diego Pride. We appreciate that. Betty, thank you for showing us around your studio. We've been watching while we've been chatting here, and as you walked us around. And folks at home who joined us today, again, we apologize that the sound was out on the video, but know that we apologize for that. But thank you for joining us. Thank you, John. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, Richard and Israel. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yep.